as we hear YouTube echo a little bit back to us, as it should be right now. We hear YouTube echo a little bit back
Yeah.
to us. There we go.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the January 27, 2026 meeting of the MBTA Rider Oversight Committee. I'm Stefan Wunsch, the co-chair. Wig Zamor, the other co-chair of this committee, is unavailable tonight. He's tied up with a conflict. Um, Len, want to just introduce yourself? Make sure your audio sounds good.
Sure. I'll introduce myself, and then after Craig, I want to request a moment of silence, and I'll explain why.
Hi, Craig Leskowski, public member.
Sure. So, normally I don't do this, because I don't like to, cast a pall over a setting, with very unpleasant news, but because this is MBTA related, and they um, are/were good friends of mine. I just want to take a moment of silence for Noriko Rapley. She was a woman that was accidentally killed at Norwood on Sunday. Uh, uh,
Yes.
and so yeah, she it was an accident. I'm sure. And her husband Joey Rapley, who's also a good friend, was injured, but not in a very serious way. I mean, he's recovering. So yeah. I mean, they rode the tea a lot. I mean, were tea enthusiasts. And so I mean, I have no details. And will not speculate on anything. But like I said, normally I wouldn't do this, but because I mean it's tea related. And they're good friends. Um, I figured I'd ask us to just acknowledge that. And as more information becomes available, we'll know how to react better.
I support the idea of just pausing for a moment. I'll let you call how long.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it all I need to say, and that was
Okay.
enough of a
Okay.
pause. So thank you. Um,
Thank you. I'm really sorry. I heard that about it shortly after it happened, and yeah, absolutely tragic. That
yeah,
that kind of thing should never happen, and I hope we do find out all the details so it can never happen again.
yeah, yeah. Looks at I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. And it's funny because
Exactly.
I was reading, one of the local news stations website, just trying to keep track of the news. And there was like a slew of headlines about people who had been injured or killed. I normally don't read those, because it's sort of like me, because me, part of you want to read it and make sure that it's not someone that you know, but then someone's died. So it's one of those cases where you like there's some grief somewhere, and to the extent you feel good that it's not someone you know, but someone else is suffering, and it's like, yeah. I saw Norwood, and I I just said, what are the chances? And I just went on to look at the news story, the weather report, and didn't come back to it until we got a call, on yesterday evening, um, telling us that she had passed away. And immediately I just said, was she in the accident? And Jonathan didn't know. And then I looked, and there it was. So yeah. Um,
I'm really sorry.
yeah, I mean, you feel
A damn
badly
shame.
for everybody. Her husband, of course, but I feel badly for the driver too.
Oh
It's like,
yes. Oh, absolutely,
oh
absolutely.
my goodness. I mean, it's like I can put myself in his position, and it's like, oh my goodness. So it's like, yeah, 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 no, and is and to tell you kind of like what the day was like. I guess maybe not too long after I saw the headline, I got distracted at home. See if I can pull it up. By this. Hold on if I
Oh
can.
no.
Uh, it's a little bit of a delay.
Oh
So
no.
that is like feet me from and the house, me from the window where I shot it, because in in lovely Somerville, where I live, there's no setback, and so the house goes right up to the sidewalk, and then the sidewalk, goes right to the street, and so this tow truck, which was acting as a plow, somehow caught on fire, I mean, there's no concern. I mean, for us, I mean, the fire SPD was there quickly because there's a fire station close by, and they weren't telling us to get out of the house or anything. So I kind of like just stayed put, and took some pictures. So that was kind of like the distraction also that just stopped me from reading even more news, so
Yeah.
yeah, snow is dangerous, you know.
But you had no damage to your property.
No,
Oh, I'm glad.
no.
I'm glad.
So
Oh,
anyways.
pardon me for the quick diversion. I just realized I need to make both of you co-host as the backup. I almost forgot completely. Okay. Now we're covered in case my computer blows up.
uh,
Oh man. Yeah, that's been a tough week.
Yeah. Well, sorry. As I said, I normally don't say these things. That if no one else can help me, like, why bum them out? You know what I mean? And so, but it is news that we are kind of loosely aware of. It's just
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean, I I should have thought about it more to pull up some accident statistics just to refresh my own memory, but that I'm sorry that didn't occur to me. I can't I'll speak for myself. I can't remember the last time there was a fatality that was not directly involving an MBTA transit vehicle. I mean, in this case, a plow truck in a MBTA a parking lot facility. I
yeah.
can't remember the last time anything like this has happened.
What's a good thing we can't, right? The good
Oh,
thing is,
exactly.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a good
yeah,
thing that
yeah,
is rare and infrequent.
yep. And
I mean,
I
was
don't.
it was it the MBTA employee or was it a subcontractor?
contractor. So
Yeah,
yeah,
which makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it. Call me a blind optimist, or call me blindly optimistic, but I'm reasonably confident that this will the findings will improve safety for the future.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And go ahead.
I guess I'll be more the pessimist on this one. I think it's
Yep.
yeah, it's snow plowing in a storm is dangerous work. I mean, it um, mistakes are going to happen. Unfortunately, this feels like it's like short, uh, but it's a terrible situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I saw Governor Healy on the news also. She said that she reached out to um Noriko's husband, Joey, and I mean, she didn't reach out to me, of course, but just knowing that she reached out to him made me feel better, Uh, uh, I mean, I don't know what his response to it was, but just knowing that she, cared enough, to reach out. And I'm sure people in that position care about everyone, but sometimes the timing is such that you can't reach out to everyone. But I guess the timing was such that she could reach out to him. So it made me, feel better, to know that at least he'd heard me from someone on that level, who, I mean, I mean, I know that she is going to require, that we look into it, understand what happened, and see if there is something that we can do to reduce the chances. Because as Craig being kind of indicated, it's like, these are conditions that are fraught with risk, and you just do what you can, to reduce those risks. And if there's more we can do, I'm sure we will. Uh,
Yep. Well said. Well, interestingly, if you pardon me for taking us to a discussion topic that's from the recent presentations,
yeah,
if that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
I
They were
think
interesting.
the first thing that I'd like to review is a department that, at least for me, was under the radar. I had not known about the Department of
I know what you're gonna say.
Stations and Facilities.
Yes, yes, I knew you were gonna say that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
What
and
you know what caused this to come about, right?
uh, uh, I don't know where you're going with that. So tell me what you're thinking.
So a few years ago, remember that there were like these high profile collapses of things, I mean, from structures, I mean, in stations, like one at Harvard Square. I forget what the other one was. Maybe
Yes.
two times at Harvard Square.
Oh, that's the direct. I see that.
Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
think you're
station,
right.
yeah, and that led to
Yep.
the creation of these. And at the time, we were like, yes, good, really good that you're doing this, and so we kind of like to
Oh,
think that
oh,
it wasn't absolutely necessary to have a department that was dedicated to it, that it was just kind of part of the operations process,
yeah.
But you know what? If it required creating a department and to do it, then more power to them. And it's interesting what they're doing. So yeah, you're gonna
Yep.
say,
Yep. Well, I just wanted to ask if, well, if either Craig or you, Len, did you have a chance to see the document? Because I think
yeah,
it's
I did.
worth just, um, I don't want to breeze through it, but um, coming out of 2023, not terribly long ago, but then I thought it was interesting pulling the pre-existing transit facilities to be under this new Office of Stations. Seems quite logical. The I think it's on the next page. I was impressed. Yes, here. Um, Staff up to 290 employees
Yeah,
for stations, facilities, and structures. Wonderful. I mean, that's such a big component of MBTA infrastructure, or the capital element of uh, the MBTA. You know, the non the what do we call the stations infrastructure? The non-rolling
yeah,
capital infrastructure. I
yeah,
can't remember the right exact term, but it's along those lines.
yeah,
So yeah, several hundred employees. That that sounds right. That feels right.
yeah.
But specifically, PEs, professional engineers, in-house for stamped designs. I
Yes.
I think that's been lacking for a while, hasn't it? I have a vague recollection that MBTA and maybe a corollary to that, MassDOT. I this is a vague memory that might be going back like 10 or 15 years, but I thought we had a dearth of PEs. Like, in other words, a little bit of a shortage relative to the plans and designs that needed a PE to stamp with that authority. Does that sound right to you?
Well, it sounds right to me, only in that, we were, resisting increasing headcount and actually trying to actively reduce headcount. I mean, from like
True,
2009, through, the latter part of the last decade. So
true.
you would think, that would be the case. But no, I know what you're getting at. No, I don't. I don't think it was something that was a big focus. Mean, and I don't know to what extent they were going out of house in order to get me, the engineers, expertise, for these sorts of things. And I say that because it seems like, to a large extent, we just weren't doing enough the
Yep,
station maintenance. So then,
yep,
who do you need if you're not going to do the work? You know?
yep. True. Um, Having drone inspection. Well, sorry. I I apologize for going off on a little bit of a rant, but I hate calling human-controlled flying vehicles drones. Because a drone, the definition of a drone is a non-controlled, completely autonomous flying device. These aren't inspections by drones if somebody's holding a control stick and guiding it around. But that's just a pet peeve of mine. That's an unmanned aerial vehicle. That's a UAV, not a drone. But fine, whatever. UAV inspections. Yay! I, it's one of those things where I would have thought we'd be doing this a while ago, but perhaps not. Perhaps this is brand new. Two thumbs up. I don't know how well you can see this little image here, but this is showing the photo from the UAV right up underneath the bridge span, showing great detail. Yeah, again, I am thrilled. And then this, holy cow, a floating inspection unit for doing visual inspections through culverts where you don't, I would say you don't want to send a human in there when a robot can do it. I am so impressed. I am so thrilled. Uh, this just, for lack of a better term, this warms my heart. This is the MBTA thinking outside the box and going in great new directions.
Yeah.
I'll kind of skip over, the details of yeah, in-house column design and repair. Yes, absolutely. We should be doing it in-house as much as possible, as opposed to those years of contracting out. And
Or not doing it at all. So,
true, yeah.
uh,
And oh, I got to share this really quick because I had to look up where is the Hollis pump room. You guys have probably never heard of this before.
no,
The
no, no,
Hollis pump room.
no.
Well, turns out this is part of the original subway that went from Park Street to Boylston and then continued straight down to where it came above ground near that cool church that's circular just at the south end of the theater district on Tremont Street.
Okay.
That's the part that goes out of Boylston that kind of goes down on the sides and is no longer used.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
this Hollis pump room is at the corner of Tremont. It's the big intersection that's right near the Wang Theater and the Transportation Building.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah, so that's where this is. And what I think it's kind of cool, actually, you can tell from the construction style. Oh yeah, this has got 1890s written all over it.
yeah,
This arching
yeah,
cavern with the steps. I mean, that looks like right out of the Victorian age
yeah,
of municipal designs, and I love it.
yeah.
And it makes total sense why there's a pump room there because it's still, I mean, it's not filled in. I hope we never do fill it in. So you've got to have uh, water infiltration mitigated.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I hate to say, because it just shows you how poorly I can discriminate, you know,
mhm.
or how poor my powers of discrimination are. I can tell how much of a difference between the before and after on those. So I just said to myself,
Oh, really?
I'll take your word
Oh,
for it, and I'll say that if I was there in person, I'd probably notice a big difference. But when I look at the pictures, it's like, oh, well, I guess
well,
there's a difference.
if you look carefully at the control panels, I believe the control panels were completely replaced. I mean the face the the faces of the control panels look all brand new. The switches look brand new. The old control panels were covered with graffiti
Yeah.
and looks like a lot of some water damage.
Well, let me ask you this: do the pictures really line up? Because it seems like the before after and after pictures are not the exact same angles, and
No, not exactly.
uh,
No, I think the
but even so, I was like, okay, I'm just trying to get the feel of it, and that's like being the after one seemed like significantly cleaner, being different than the before one, and and I just wasn't seeing much of a difference. I mean,
oh,
but
well, I actually okay. I think I believe that the top pho all right, let me pull this back in again. I know it's hard for you to look at my shared screen, but I believe the top is actually at least two photos under the before, and I believe it's 2 photos under the after as well.
Okay.
If you look
Yeah.
really carefully, I believe you can see that the there's uh, a a line of separation
Yeah.
between.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, as I said, I mean, I'm not seeing. How can I say this? I mean, I guess I'm not seeing an order of magnitude in difference in terms of
Oh, okay.
impression. It
Okay.
would be like a weak multiple. But once again, this is not a critique, of the T.
Yeah.
It's really
Fair
to
enough.
say my powers of discrimination, I think, are poor on this. And I think maybe if I was there, I'd be a lot more impressed. So that's all.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't have the skill set, knowledge, experience to critique at all. I mean, in fact, I really all I want to do by just mentioning the Hollis pump room is just to call out where it is because I didn't know when I looked it up.
Yeah.
Turns out I had to find the reference to it from the National Transportation Database, the FTA's
Oh,
um, infrastructure database is where I actually found that referenced.
yeah. Yeah, I noticed a fairly big difference being on the eastbound under Harbor Pump Room renovation. Once again, I don't know to the extent to which the pictures are lining up, but certainly it looks like they have the added a lot to that space. So it definitely seems like it's a renovation and an upgrade.
Yep. Um, unless there's more to talk about for that for the stations and
Well, I think the information booth wraps are kind of cool.
yeah.
Uh, uh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're cool. The aquarium one is really nice, and I can't figure out what's going on with the second one on the left
Oh, okay.
on the bottom.
Let me bring that back up. Craig, is what I'm sharing on my screen at all useful for this, or is that not really doing much for you?
No, I always like visuals. This is appreciated.
Uh,
Okay, thank you. Cool.
so
What you were calling out which one, Len?
the second one in the second row, the second rectangle.
Got
What is that one?
the Boston Harbor view?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think that's on the harbor.
Is that
I mean, I
Quincy?
don't know if it's Boston Harbor. I mean,
Does
it
it
could
say
be
does it say
Quincy near the
Quincy
ferry
on
terminal.
it? What does it
Oh,
say
it
on?
does say Quincy.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's a picture of Marina Bay, actually.
all right.
nice. Good call, Craig. Thank you.
You're not particularly. You're a couple miles away and a bus ride away from getting there from where you get off at that station, but
All right, all right.
Oh, is that
Oh,
not where the ferry terminal is? Oh no, it's a Hingham ferry terminal. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, 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 no. Is that a ferry terminal or is that a no? No,
I don't.
that's an. There
I
is
I
one there. I'm just saying that that's a picture of a booth at a Quincy at a I think
gotcha.
MB at a red line stop.
Okay, there is a Quincy ferry. I had to refresh
Yep.
my memory. Um, Hingham Hall Ferry, Quincy are the ones from the South Shore. So yeah, so that's a good call. Clearly, the top of the kiosk above the window says Quincy, and
Yep.
my guess is that's Quincy Harbor near where the ferry station is.
oh, I think
Right.
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
that's
That is
that's a picture of
nice.
the Marina Bay as
Very
opposed to.
nice.
So before we go on to your next deck of choice, I just
Yeah.
wanted to announce that Elias, I forget his last name, is going to join us at the next all committee meeting on the 10th.
Wonderful.
So yeah,
Thank you very much.
he was away, so that's why he didn't get back to me
Right.
in time, and so he's enthusiastic. So I'll take a look at the app by then. And,
Thank you very much.
sure. He'll be joining us at 5:30. And I
Oh, that's
told you
fine.
we have 45 minutes an hour,
Right.
depending on how interested we are.
Yep. Now, if you're up for it, I'm going to pivot to the presentation from Tim Lesniak, safety
I
officer.
I knew that was gonna be the second one. Okay.
After all these years, gents, I bet you know me better than I know myself for a couple of things, for a few things. All right, as I always do, I'll put the link into the Zoom chat so I can also get it into YouTube later. Um, I am so thrilled to see that there are discussions of single track operation, at least, well, I don't want to say starting, because I don't know if it started just recently, but happening. Um, I think when I joined The Rock in 2004 or such, was one of the first things that I asked was, why can't we do single track operations during off-peak hours? And I think at the time it was a combination of a lack of good safety protocol, but also not a flexible enough signaling and switching system. Um, it's seeming to me like this STO, single track operation, is leaning on not just protocol of safety, but if I go down to, oh no, I think it's in the GM's presentation. There was a dollar figure. Yeah, I think it's in the GM's presentation. A dollar figure with a state match. No, I'm sorry, a federal match, I think it was, for expanding single track. Um, so I haven't had a chance to look more into this, but have either of you gents come across this?
Yeah, and they're doing it, so there's been some single track operation notices that have gone out, and I think I've seen them, I think on the orange line and the red line,
Oh,
so it's something that's underway, so yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thrilled to hear that.
I'm trying to
I
remember.
am really thrilled.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what you were saying about the GM, the presentation and funding. I'll see if I'll go back and see if I can find that. I don't recall that, but yeah, but but yeah. So no, this is good. And I don't remember you bringing that up, but I just certainly remember the culture at that time. And this just would have been, are you serious? I mean, we're not going to do anything that risky, and so yeah.
Let me
And
see if I can find it.
certainly if it was going to cost any more, I mean, that was a no-no. So yeah, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. It was a dollar figure in the millions. Um, uh, sorry, I don't want to just have stuff scrolling
That's
in
fine.
front of you for no reason.
I'm looking myself. Yeah.
Um, oh, I think it's in the presentation deck from Capital Finance Administration State Match Funding
Oh yeah.
for core capacity.
Well, state max funding core capacity is for 10 safety and infrastructure for Type 10 cars,
Yeah, that's
enhances
just green line though.
accessibility and increases capacity. You
Am I
know,
hallucinating?
and the state is doing a lot of matching for the Green Line, like what's it called, transformation. It's like a
Yes.
$4 billion project initiative. It's like I didn't
Yep.
realize it was that much. With about $1 billion of it going for new Type 10 cars.
Yep.
And so that's under the capital, or sorry, the audit and financing. Administration and financing, whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I hallucinated it. Maybe
And
I conflated the single track operations with
well,
something that
we'll cover
is
that. We'll go over that in a bit. But while we're talking
okay.
about the trains, though, and this is kind of not really STO, but it is something from the general manager's deck, which is good. Talking about it's on um, slide 6, goalkeeping trains and service for our riders. How they
Yeah.
are doing kind of the like they get a problem. I think in this case it was like a panel.
Ah,
And
yes.
agreement.
Let me pull that over so
Yeah,
Craig can see it.
and they like communicate with each other. They have like
Yep.
the engineers like position themselves to get the train when it comes in, I guess, to terminal, fix it in half hour and train
Yep.
back in service. And as I said, that would have been like a multi-day process that could have affected service because of availability of trains. So it's good to see these kinds of efforts because I know that a lot of times the hard part is just getting over that initial energy barrier of putting all the procedures in place. It
Yep.
takes time and thought, the meetings, which is time, and it's not like people are sitting around with extra time on their hands. So it really takes commitment, to get over that barrier. But once you do it, then all your pieces are in place. And then when a use case comes up, you just deploy, and so yeah, and it just, it's good. And if it requires more people so that you have the time to do it, then I think it's money well spent, and I think to the extent you can really improve service, even in these little ways, it makes riders, um, want to use the system more, because it becomes more reliable, right? Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
in this particular scenario that's called out with the timestamps and everything, um, I'm not as familiar with that end of the branch. Um, do you know? Do you get? And this maybe this is more of a question for Craig, being a red line rider. Um, any sense of where the original maintenance desk 6:55 a.m. just isolated? I mean, if you look at the timestamps and it says, okay, panel's been secured, cars back in service, presumably that happened at Braintree because they're talking about repairs at Braintree. Um, I mean, there's no way to leapfrog a train, right? So, in other words, if a train's out of service because of a fault, it still has to wait for the revenue service ahead of it to make it to the terminus of that trip, right?
yeah,
So presumably that's a limiting factor since you don't have repairers everywhere.
right.
But I don't know. I guess I'm being too critical of this one instance where, okay, vehicle has been back in service in 34 minutes. Great. I mean, if the problem happened at, I don't know, Quincy Center, okay, 34 minutes. Okay, great. If the problem happened at Harvard, hey, wow, holy cow, how did they do it so fast? I mean, that's probably not relevant. I mean, it's a, it's a pro, hey, we're getting better kind of a thing, but should we, I don't know. I don't want to look askance at this one example and be too critical, but should we? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm going to take their word, that they got the train back in service, in 34 minutes, versus multiple days. So
Hmm.
that's a pretty good ratio of improvement, for me. And so, multiple days. Let's just say that it was at the middle of the run, and it took it a half hour, to get to, Braintree, and then another half hour to fix it. So let's say, it took an hour to turn it around. Still an hour versus several days would be a good ratio, for me, unless I'm
That's
missing your point.
true. No,
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I was missing those. I'm missing the big
See,
point. Yeah, it's quicker. They're saying that it's quicker than it would have been in the past. Okay,
yeah.
I'll take that at face value.
And the
Sure.
trains got
both things can be true at the same time, right? You can be you can 34 minutes when you're like sitting there waiting for a train to like waiting on the platform can seem like an eternity.
Mm.
But I think what they're contrasting it to is the whole idea of we were able to fix it in the spot as opposed to bring it all the way back. It's about returning the car to service as opposed to the resolution of the issue.
Yeah. And I don't
Yes.
And I don't think that necessarily means that, there was a delay in service for 34 minutes. I mean, it may have impacted service, um, um, for a while, on the red line. So instead of the headways maybe being, every 10 minutes, they may have expanded, to every 15 minutes. But I don't think it means that there was a 34-minute delay, in service.
Yeah, it does say maintaining service levels.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll take that as being that the headways weren't significantly affected.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just the stats on chart on slide 4 is pretty impressive too. So 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 yeah, I mean, I just like the notion of putting new processes, into play,
Hmm.
to um increase service level. And I really do think, that required more people. But if it didn't, it just required a new way of thinking about things even better. But if it is just the latter, then it'd be interesting to know what prevented that previously. And that's a conversation maybe for another day. And if it was just a culture thing, or if there were, other factors involved, like maybe people um, being territorial, or saying, well, that's not part of what we negotiated. I'm just speculating, so I have no basis for saying that. So I just want to make it clear that this isn't, you know,
Hmm.
anti any department or even anti-union. It's more like just
Yep.
kind of trying to understand, what maybe was a part of the culture. If it was only culture, if it was a money thing, then a shortage of money can cause its own kind of culture. And then once you're in that culture, you don't really kind of think about doing things differently. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got me thinking now about just this stat right here, as the number two versus the number three car days in service. Wow. I mean, just compare the the number two versus the number three. I mean, yes, the number two are, I just pulled it up, built between 1987 and 1989. It's the 1700s. Um, so they're getting long in the tooth. But wow, that's quite a difference in days in service for the late 80s fleet versus the early 90s fleet from Bombardier. I mean,
Yeah.
admittedly, I mean, they're apples to oranges in terms of, the design, the propulsion systems, but that's a wow factor for me.
Yeah.
The older ones, even currently, 1150 days between issues, I guess. But that's, almost twice, not quite twice, the number of days in service for the Type 3s. Wow. Did I put this into the Zoom chat? I forget. I didn't put that in the Zoom chat yet. There we go. Um, Craig, anything more on this from you?
No, I mean, if you, I always take all numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt, but
Yeah.
overall, even if the numbers are slightly exaggerated, and I have no proof that they are, it is these all seem like really solid, impressive improvements, right?
Yeah, exactly.
and I hate to say another way to look at this, you know, obviously they have real data here, right? So I can't question their real data. Just, I mean, think about from a cultural point of view in terms of how often do you hear about the T service issues, you know, in the Globe or in the Herald or in other things. Like part of that thing is things that have moments, but also part of it is the hard work was done to kind of get back to basics, which is reliable service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Yeah. But it takes money to do that. It takes money to do that, you know, and
It does, right? I mean, but what I do like about this at least is just well, and there's no magic silver bullet either, right? So you have to fix the tracks. You have
right.
to figure out better ways to fix the trains. Like there's a million different it's a culmination of a lot of different things to make reliable service. There's not just one. So this is just I think a good example of a um just another way that you know work was done.
Yeah. Oh,
So next
And
step.
I do need to step away in a little bit. I have a blocked dryer issue that I
Oh,
was not
oh,
sorry.
okay.
expecting to deal with.
All right.
Right.
What's your cutoff time?
I just need
Oh, do
why don't
you
we
want
just
to
talk
step
about
away and then come back?
yeah, why don't I go to that? I'll be right back. You
Okay.
guys keep talking,
No worries.
and
No worries at all.
but you
It's totally up
but
to you.
no, what I will say is why don't we cover the green line here real quick because I have not been following the Type 10s at all. So it looks like we're on our way to getting a pilot car, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. All 7 sections together. I've blanked on where this is being assembled. That's probably not as important as the fact that it's all 7 sections together, and holy cow, that's gigantic,
Well, can, can I
which we
just
already knew.
can I just interrupt to say
Please.
I had a conversation with Darren and Stefan. I think if you asked Darren, you know, to show you anything, he would show it to you because he insisted on me making sure to tell you that he says hi. We, I,
That's great.
I think he just loves you, you know. And so I think if you ask Darren, can I see like the pilot car at some point in time? You know, he probably organize a tour just for you to get there.
Well, hopefully it would be for all of us, but I
but
appreciate that.
but
Thank you.
anyways, I'm conveying his hi to you. You know,
Thank you.
and to everyone on the rock too, but you especially.
Darren is wonderful. He's been very great to us all these years. I hope he's not going to retire until he's 85.
Well, uh, well,
But of course, if he hears that, no, Darren, you retire when you need to.
well,
But yes, thank you, Darren. You are wonderful.
well,
And we're talking about Darren McAuliffe.
yeah. We'll have
He's
to
a
keep
rock star.
we'll have to keep him and Jonathan Belcher. Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and that reminds me, the next time I see you guys in person, I owe you the gifties from the South Coast Rail opening.
All right. Yeah, we'll
I
do.
haven't seen you in person since then, but
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll
Darren,
just
make sure that I've got enough for all the members.
all right. Well, we'll do something in the spring, summer.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Again, Darren. Okay.
yeah, maybe make trek to the transportation building and
Yeah.
drop in on Darren. You know,
Yeah.
not drop in, but coordinate a meeting with him.
Yep. Now, since Craig stepped away for a minute, um,
No,
I will.
I'm still here right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess the question now is, in what order would you want to cover additional things? Because
Let's talk about that green line. You know, state
yeah,
core.
so talk about the green line and I'll step away. And if I could rejoin, I will. Otherwise, we'll.
okay. All right.
Uh,
Cool. I will pull that in and over. It's This is the right one, right? Right, Len? State
yeah,
match funding for core capacity.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this kind of just shows you like the project cost. You know, which as I said, I mean, the the total estimated cost is like 4 billion. It's like, wow, it's a lot. And MBTA is committed, you know,
Yeah.
to I guess at this point 578 million. You know, so I guess most of this is going to come from the feds. I mean, as opposed to the state. Yeah. Um, so um, there's a lot going on there, a lot, and I guess it's precipitated by the Type 10 cars. Do you know?
No, thought that
Hmm.
I had
Oh,
thought this was a lot of this was already planned. Um,
yeah.
I could
Well,
be
it
wrong,
seems
but
like it's planned. I mean, but then they are advancing, to the next. Oh, you mean planned as in the engineering phases have been done?
well, just well, not. I mean, things that aren't coupled tightly to the Type 10s. Um,
Huh.
I could be wrong, but some of the ones that are in line items in that chart, um, central central tunnel package signal upgrades. That doesn't strike me as being tied to Type 10s.
Yeah, right.
Um, Riverside VMF. What is the VMF?
Vehicle maintenance
Oh, thank
Facility.
you. You're right. Vehicle maintenance
facility.
facility. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Ding ding.
Um, that could be a Type 10 specific thing.
Well, maybe not. I mean, I was just asking. So, I mean, I think maybe GLT, is the Type 10s are part of it, but not all of it. So, um, um, I think that the Type 10s are triggering, a lot of upgrades or modifications. And probably just going to piggyback on that and do some other things that are necessary. You know, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean the vehicle maintenance facilities, I mean, if they're longer cars, they may not fit in the existing facilities. You may have to lengthen them. I mean, there's a million things I could think of to.
Right.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Well,
That
upgrade the system and then maybe push that green line, out to Route 16 and then to West Medford. So be good to do that. And
I don't I don't
yeah.
suppose you guys know where would be the Type 10 high-speed test track, which is on this slide.
No, no, I don't. Huh? No idea. I mean, I would normally ask me one step and once. He normally knows these things, but I mean, if he doesn't know, then
Hmm.
probably no one outside the team knows.
Well, I've only heard about it from this slide. Um, According to a little bit of a Google AI overview, both the high speed and the low speed test tracks are required to be constructed, commissioned, and turned over by January 30, 2026. What?
I might whatever AI you ask, we ask it to
Yeah.
give you the evidence for that. I mean, so tell
Yes.
it to give you the link to the document from which it came to that conclusion. So so now maybe after this we can talk about um, funding and
Well, I found it. It's
yeah.
actually in a doc from 2023.
Hmm.
It's the public announcement of the project for bid. Check this out. Contract number. Both test tracks are required to be constructed, commissioned, and turned over by January 3rd, 2026. That's the same language that the Googles just read me.
Good, good. Yeah. So then are we on schedule, behind schedule?
I'm gonna take that as a to-do item for me to find out. Um, because I find that the specifics of test tracks particularly interesting to me, just because you can't well, I believe the goal is to not use revenue track for it for safety purposes. So case in point, when the CRC redline cars were being tested, they were all tested at the hope I have the right number. Track 51, I believe it is, that goes out. Well, used to be full railroad that went out to the South Boston waterfront, but it was uh, rebuilt for the Red Line track and tied in at the Cabot yards, and that's where the high-speed testing for the CRRC cars was being done. So
Oh,
I'm really interested. Oh, and the same thing. The third track, the never really used orange line of um, community college, the express track that was used for the orange line CRRC testing. But I don't know anywhere in the system where there's enough room on the right of way for a third track for testing. So I'm really interested in this.
yeah, well, you should find out what you find out.
Yeah. Well, not to mention that if it's anywhere near um, uh, public uh, public thoroughfare, public property, it's a
Right,
great place to get a look at the Type 10s as they blaze by, as long as you
right,
can do it from the from something that's a public way.
right. So, before we talk about, the pro forma budget, yeah, I'd like to talk about the hedging, the diesel fuel.
I knew you wanted to,
Yeah.
and I also want to. Yes.
And so I want to go to slide 10 because they're doing the standard thing, which is fine. They hedge 50%, which is fine. I see what they're doing. When you look at actually, on slide number 5,
Okay.
it's not
Uh-huh.
really clear to me, if they have made or lost money, over the long term on this. Between the years 2021 and 2023, or 2023, it seems like the hedges weren't working out that well. And then in the other periods, it seems like the area, that they're doing better, isn't as big as the area where it's doing worse. But that could just be an artifact of the graft, But in any
Oh,
case, it really isn't about making money or losing money. It's really about kind of having stable um, costs, for your fuel,
right.
and I get that, But when you go to slide 10, on that last bullet, it says this encourages MBTA to exploit so-called virtual storage. In other words, hedging when forward prices are lower than current prices allows us to buy fuel on paper and lock in these lower values without acquiring the barrels, and paying to store them. So I think I don't know if I call that hedging. I think maybe in the overall context of buying fuel, it's hedging. But essentially, what they're doing is like they're kind of like going, "Oh, these prices are low, in the intermediate future, and we're gonna buy it now because when you factor in the storage costs, we're doing better." And to me, that's kind of like saying, "Okay, we have a target at which we." Like a kind of a budget for which we want to spend on fuel. And then if we
Hmm.
see the prices going lower, we'll just buy more, and I'm totally fine with that, and so I think I'm happy to see them doing a little more active management, of purchasing fuel, in the futures market. So it's not like it's speculation. It's not like they are buying low, more fuel than
Yeah.
they need. Speculation would be if they were buying more fuel than they need, at a lower price and anticipating it going up and selling. I mean, uh, But then if it doesn't go up and it goes down and they have more fuel than they need, then they need to like sell that fuel at a loss. I mean, so that would be speculation. And that would be a no-no. I mean, but no, I was glad to see that kind of active management. I mean, and how they are being taken advantage of the fact that they then don't have to store it. I mean, so you kind of buy it in the future. And you don't take delivery of it until the that date comes, and so they're essentially holding that fuel for you. Now, the risk that is happening there, is that the prices could go down even more. All right.
Yes.
But you know what? I think you say you have a budget for what you intend to spend on fuel. And that if something goes down, you'll buy it, at a lower price. You're not trying to maximize, your gains. You're just trying to stay, within your budget. And if you can
Yes.
lower the price just a little bit every now and then, that's fine. So no, I'm glad to see that kind of active management. And
Okay.
I only hesitate to say it because sometimes active management, implies trading, and people don't like the T word, so uh,
Okay.
uh,
Um,
so right.
I, I'm getting hung up on the concept of buying the actual asset of fuel at the lower price if it goes lower, and then just holding on to it. Um,
Was it?
is there a lifespan of fuel? Is there a limit to how long the physical asset of fuel can be kept after being purchased and delivered?
Well, no, no. See, what they were buying I think it's a forwards contract. So they're buying the contract. So they're essentially saying, to the counterparty, I'm going to buy this fuel, at this price, in say it's January now, I'm going to buy it at this price, in July.
Mhm.
So you're not taking delivery of it until July.
Okay, but you had said if the price goes lower, I heard you say would buy more, but that seemed to imply buying and taking delivery of the tangible fuel asset. No?
Well, well, no, it doesn't because you could just buy more futures contracts or forwards contracts when it
Oh,
goes lower.
oh, okay.
So as long as you're buying the contracts, in the future, then you're
Yep.
not taking delivery of it. You don't take delivery, until the contract, expires. That's the delivery date is when the contract expires. That's when they say,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
you need to take the fuel. So yeah,
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right. I guess
yeah.
I'm thinking very myopically. Um, I had it in my head just now that if the MBTA could get fuel for $1 a gallon, they would just go out and buy 10 million gallons and store it on MBTA property until they needed to use it. But that's not the way it works, right?
That's not the way it works. And
Okay.
indeed, what they are saying is that it's a good thing it doesn't work that way because what they are taking advantage of was called virtual storage. And so by buying
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the oil or the fuel in the future, they're kind of locking in that price. But because they don't have to take delivery of it, that's kind of functioning as their storage. Because
Okay.
storage costs. And so there's only
That's
a
what I was.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 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 no. So yeah, storage costs. And so you have to build more storage. Well, you have to build more storage. And
Yeah.
no one's going
And
to do
so
that.
and so are we presuming that, well, no, I shouldn't presume at all. That would be silly. Um, kind of just jumps out at me. What what are the storage abilities of the agency?
Oh,
And do we have enough storage to be resilient if there was a supply chain interruption in fuel?
um,
Hmm.
I
I have no idea if we've ever thought about that before.
yeah, I don't know, and of course it all depends on how. how severely and how long the supply chain is disrupted. I mean, one
Right.
thing they did indicate is that there aren't a lot of options when it comes to um, buying diesel fuel, or I should rephrase that because since we're talking trading markets, I should say choice as opposed to options because options have a whole different definition,
Yes. Okay. I see what you
in
mean. Yeah.
in
Choices.
financial
Yeah. Good
markets.
call.
I mean, so
Yep.
choices mean, and so they say that the price. eh, I think I think they were making it help it trying to help us understand why I think diesel prices are more volatile than the underlying oil from which the diesel is made.
Oh.
And one of the things they said was that because of the limited places from which you can get diesel or it can be made, people can't do the runaround against the trading, is it embargoes or whatever it else, whatever it is, that
Uh,
the U.S. has imposed, that the Russians are kind of undermining. So it doesn't really work in the diesel markets, So
I just found it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, on slide 9, it's the fourth bullet. Yeah, that's exactly what you just said. Vulnerability because of limited alternatives.
right,
Right.
right. So yeah, so we hedge and we hedge some more, and that's good. That's good, and on to the
Hmm.
pro farmer. Um, I I get a little concerned.
Okay.
The state, is pulling back, on its financial commitments. They I think cut by at least 50. I'm trying to pull up that deck. The head count, you know, for this year, they've
I got it.
maintained it in going out to 20 fiscal year 2028, but I
Yep.
don't know. I mean, I think I'm losing a little confidence in that, and to the extent, we're making progress because of the increased headcount, I'm concerned. I don't know what's going on with the state, and giving less
Hmm.
money because I thought, with the millionaires tax, we had more money coming in, and that was an impression that it was a 50-50 split. But I can appreciate that 50-50 split is going to all of transportation, in the
Hmm.
state, and not just a T. I get that, and there are probably plenty of municipalities and that need, funding for their roads and whatnot. So I get that, but that just I think means that to the extent the legislature can, stand by its commitments, to the T, I hope they do. Because we that was a pretty big hole that was long, in the anticipated budget. It went from 687, to 470. You know,
What page is that on?
that
Slide
is
number?
on slide number. Uh, doesn't have a number. Sorry, so I have to count.
No, that's okay. Or just tell me what's the title of the slide.
Current fiscal year 26 projection. This is the second slide. It's the
Okay,
first
I
one
got it.
after the header. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you're right. There's no page number. Heh.
yeah. And then the other thing that was a little worrisome to me is the income eligible fares. So it seems like that was being cut by 30 million. And so I don't know to what extent there was insufficient demand to require the 50 million. So if there wasn't enough demand for the 50 billion, that's fine. If 20 million does the job, that's fine. But if the cut in 30 million means that people who wanted income eligible fares aren't getting them, then that's an issue. So I don't know where to get the answer on that. My
That's a huge
inclination to think
percentage.
it's more that it just wasn't necessary. Because I would like to think, that if people were really being negatively affected by it, we would have heard something. But it's not like I scour the news, for MBTA information.
Right.
Google does that for me, but I have to admit I don't read, all of it. I pretty much read the decks,
Mhm.
so I don't read everything I get, And a lot of times I don't read it because they're all like behind, a lot of them behind paywalls, which is good. I mean, journalists need to make money, but I only have so much money to spend, so I can't spend it on all of these sites, to get what's behind their paywalls.
Yep.
Um, so I don't know. But the head count thing. I think you can see the comparisons. On the slide after that when they show the fiscal year 26 to 28 projections. Um, um, so under expenses, the head count, the FTE count, goes from 7,700 to 8,700. But if you go up to the previous slide, the projection for fiscal year, um, this fiscal year, was 8,030, and now it's 7,700. So that's a decrease in 330. So I don't think they're cutting people. I think they're just not hiring, as much. And it'd be interesting to see, if there are
Hmm.
certain, departments that are going to bear more of the brunt of that, and then what are the effects of that. The last one, I'd like to see bear the brunt of that would be bus operations because we need the drivers, but if we're gonna do more of this in-house stuff, we probably need people too. So I don't know where to go for details on that. Um,
Hmm.
and I do miss Jonathan Davis. So and after
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Davis and Mary Runkle, I just never really established any relationship with finance. I'm not sure how to go about doing that.
Yeah.
But maybe I can get some advice from Darren or someone. Um,
Um, do you know
but
what is the H2 budget? I don't know that term.
H2, oh, that's the second
Yeah.
half.
Sorry.
That's the second half. The H2, where do you see it? I think normally H2 is the second half.
Oh, okay.
Then you have the first quarter, usually second quarter, third quarter, but sometimes they divide years, fiscal years into halves. Where do you see the H2?
On the
Oh,
slide 3, it's the
okay.
second, well, not a bullet point, but the second
Yeah.
item. Okay, I see what you mean. Like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So H2, second half of the fiscal year? Okay. I've just never
Yeah,
encountered that before.
yeah, I'm not sure at this point. Now that I read that, I'm not sure.
Hang on,
I,
I'm
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 still
looking it up.
I'm still inclined to think that, but
Yo, you are right.
okay,
Yeah. It is, yeah. First half of a fiscal year, H1, second half of the year, H2.
okay,
Wow.
all right.
I I've I've known about Q1 through Q4 for decades. I've never heard of H1, H2.
Yeah, I think it's more of a government thing.
Yeah,
Companies usually kind of
cool.
limit things to quarters, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, very much so. Well,
yeah, yeah. But on the slide on future expense growth, so they are showing it leveling off. Even with I think this was um, projected before they cut back on the 330,
hmm,
so a lot of costs are going to go down, or go away because they're completed things. So that's good, and and I think at some point, no one's going to talk about it now. But at some point they're going to have to discuss fare increases. The fare
yep.
recovery ratio, if you go back to that first slide, is 17, 18 percent, and that's pretty low. I mean, revenue, people are riding T more, and so we're getting the riders. It has been. I think the last fare increase was definitely before the pandemic. It's really a matter how long before the pandemic. And we did essentially, I think even through the legislature, it kind of limited to, I think it's either 5 to 7% fare increases every 2 years,
That
and
sounds right. Yeah.
yeah, and we had worked towards that. We were like big proponents of like small regular fare increases that were predictable. And then the pandemic came along. And then the service really deteriorated, so understandably you weren't getting increased fares then, but and this is one reason I really want to see us maintain the income fair eligibility, is because that I think gives you the ability to raise fares more. I mean, so that those of us who can afford to pay more, we pay more, but then we don't have to worry about hurting those who aren't able, to
Yes.
pay more. And so with that, I mean, I think it'll give the T the ability, to maybe do a little bit of a catch-up fare, increase, and then go back to the regular fare increases. And I'd like to think that if the T can demonstrate that to the legislature and kind of project out where the fare revenues are going to be, 4 or 5 years out, or 2 or 3 years out, then I think it would give the legislature at least some more certainty as to what kind of gap it needs to fill.
Mhm. Yeah.
But like I
Weren't
said, no one's going to talk formally about that now. I get it. I get it. But at least we can start thinking about it. Go ahead.
yeah. Weren't we on the Rock musing? That's not the right word. Weren't we tossing around the idea? I don't remember how far back that there could be a sort of like a positive feedback loop of the income eligible fares doing exactly what you were saying, allowing there to be a fare increase for the the ones who were people who are not income eligible for reduced fare, which would then increase the overall revenue and then help offset the cost of the income eligible reduced fare program. I mean, didn't we talk about that? About how like it might get us into a positive, I don't want to say like a boost of revenue, but where the fare increase could help offset the cost of the reduced fare program.
Yeah.
And then, right. And then we were talking about how all of the accelerated transformation and service improvement programs make the T that much more attractive to riders, even if there would be a fare increase. Wasn't that a part of it also? We were
Yeah.
talking about, oh, hey, look how much better the service is. Therefore, hey, it's going to be a fare increase. We got to do it. People are less likely to moan and groan about the fare increase, which is, it's a valid point. Nobody wants to pay more, but you get better service in advance. Oh, okay, cost going up. That, sorry, the fares go up, but for incoming people, that program maintains their benefit, and the higher fares can offset the cost of the low income benefit. Is that completely hokey, or were we not talking
No,
about
no,
that, or
no,
was I
no,
just having a dream
no, no, it makes
about it?
sense. It makes sense. I mean, and then of course the extent to which we everything is positive depends on the the values for the fare increase mean
Yes.
and you mean elasticities would dictate that you're going to lose some riders mean we increase the
Yep.
fare, and
Yep.
given that the income eligible fares or a percentage mean I think it's like half mean then yours are still going to go up some mean but I think the costs will generate more revenue overall, and it would be that first one, that might be big, that could maybe, cause you to lose more riders, if the T wanted to be didn't want to do a big initial fare increase, that would be fine. I'm not arguing. I wouldn't be sad if it did a lower initial fare increase, and it didn't do the catch-up fare increase, but if it's looking for revenue, then I think the fact that we haven't had one, in 8 years or so, 7 to 8 years, would give it, some cover, for doing, a larger increase, initially, and I would say take advantage of doing so when the system is running well,
Yeah.
because you're like, okay, I mean, we're doing good work here and we need to continue, to fund it, but if instead of doing like a 15%, instead, you know what, we said we're gonna limit our fare increases to 5 to 7%, and even though we haven't done it in a while, that's gonna be the limit now. It's like, good, good, yeah, but please try not to decrease the funding that you give to eligible income eligible fares riders, if they need it, and please let's not cut headcount, or the decrease. Please let's not decrease the increase in headcount in ways that will negatively affect the T.
Yeah.
Because if we start negatively affecting it, then you're going to lose riders. Make it
Right.
harder,
And your service
to
levels
ask,
drop again. Yeah.
yeah, and ask for a fare increase. So,
Yep. I think my audio dropped uh just ever so quickly. Um I heard you say 15% as a potential fare increase, but did you also said something that was about the income eligible reduced fare program where you said 50% something? I'm not sure if
yeah.
my audio dropped out and I might have mistaken 15 for 50 when you said it.
No, I think that the income eligible fares, I think they get a price break of 50%, right?
50% of
50% of the fares, 150.
I'm sorry. You mean the fare paid by those who are
Yeah,
eligible is
yeah,
half of the
yeah. I think
regular fare. Oh,
yeah,
that's what you mean. Okay.
yeah.
I gotcha. I
So
gotcha.
I think it's 50%. So when the fares go up,
Gotcha.
then if it's 50% discount, it'll still go up.
Right. Yeah.
But of course it'll
But it'll
be
go up by
half the rate.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All
Um,
right. It I got I got all hung up um when I misheard you or when I misunderstood because I was looking at um the fair revenue of 449 million and looking at what um the current income eligible fare program cost is of 50, and I was looking at that going, it's such a tiny, I mean, it's not exactly 10%, but it's a little more than, right? 50 of 449, it's a little more than 10%, right?
yeah.
But yeah,
which which is not
yeah.
tiny. I mean, by my definition, and even when the percentages are small, I mean, when you get into the 50 million range, it's like, well, that's a pretty penny.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I just mean like
yeah.
I'm actually gonna
But
just gonna do
no,
it.
but
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that money
50
was coming from the
from
state
449.
too.
Oh, it is 10%.
Um,
Uh
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
no,
it was coming from the state. And so
11.1%. Yeah, no, I was just doing that percentage calculation just to put for my own perspective, put the low income the income eligible reduced fare program cost in terms relative to the fare revenue. And
right.
it's, the cost is 11% of what the fare revenue is right now. So to me, that's I mean, I may be oversimplifying it, but that's such a huge benefit for so many people. That's only 11% of the cost is 11% of what is total revenue. It just seems so important
Yeah, like I
for that.
said, I don't know what the current uptake on it is. There was a deck, a while ago, that
Hmm.
told us,
Yeah,
what how many people were taking advantage of the program or
right.
utilizing the program, and maybe what the amounts were. I don't remember even roughly when that deck was presented,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
hopefully there'll be an update, sometime soon,
yeah.
and
Oh, I
um,
meant to ask you also. Sorry, this is a bit of
I'm pretty much done.
a
I'm done.
context switch. Um, could instead of me looking it up, could you all right, for lack of a better term, could you explain what this bullet is about the hiring? It's on slide 3, the third item, hiring and headcount targets elongated? Does elongated in this case just mean that it's pushing off further into the future what the goal to be reached is?
That's what I think it means.
Okay. Okay, cool.
And so, as I mentioned, I mean, they had reduced, I mean, the head count, the target head count from 8,030 for this fiscal year to 7,700. But it
Hmm.
seems like, I mean, they are either keeping the target in 2028, fiscal year 2028 at 8,700,
700. Yep. I see that.
or it had been less than 8,700 mean, and they increased it to 8,700 to keep the ones that the count that they reduced in this fiscal year. So I
Okay.
have to go back to another slide. I don't remember another slide where they gave us the fiscal year 28 projection. I mean, so I don't know if I have that, if that information is available.
That's okay.
So I don't know if that 8,700 was the original number or if it's boosted.
Right.
But what I get from elongated is that they're saying, like, don't worry. I mean, these 330 positions aren't gone. We're
Yep.
just pushing them into the future. And I guess I'm a little bit concerned. And I guess another reason for my concern, and this should be on the record, because I think it's probably in MBTA advisory board meeting that was recorded. I don't remember if it was a full board meeting or if it was just the rapid transit operations committee. I think that's the name of it. But anyways, people are beginning to like go, oh, do the P need all these people? I think the T is spending too much, on employees, and it's like, oh man,
That's what the advisory board people
there's
were saying.
some members of the advisory board were
Hmm.
saying that,
Hmm.
and also I was not in a frame of mind where I could um, speak against it. I mean, it was like
Okay.
when I had just pretty much announced, that I was moving to Somerville, and it was like that morning I had announced it, and I
Oh,
was
I
like
see.
extremely sleep deprived, and also knowing that I'm not going to have much free time to do anything, and I was like, I can't. Yeah, I didn't know. I was surprised to hear it. I didn't have. I just didn't have the wherewithal to counter it, But I'm not a big fan. And of course, yeah, never mind. I could go on, but I'm not at this point because partly because I don't have I have coherent thought thread, and also because this is like recorded, so I'm gonna keep my
That's
mouth
all
a
good.
little more shut at this point,
Yep.
uh,
Yep. Understood. Understood.
until I can speak confidently of what I'm saying. I mean, I'm fine with being on the record in a permanent way, but at least I want to be on the record in a permanent way with something that's more coherent and direct.
Yep. Yep. Unlike me, who just spouts crazy. No, I'm just kidding. No. No, I do consider my words very careful, but probably not as carefully as you do, because you're much better. You're more skilled at that than I
Uh,
am. That's for sure.
yeah, but
Um,
I appreciate your compliment. Don't know if I
did
deserve it. But go ahead.
yeah, did you catch, by the way, that there's a legislative mandate for year-round ferry service? I think that slipped under my radar personally. It's actually called out on that same slide 3 here.
Yeah,
Year-round ferry service cost projection included per legislative mandate. I didn't remember that we were going to go to year-round, or potentially.
yeah. I don't remember either. And so I yeah so I so part of me is thinking, well, if the legislature is going to make a mandate, I hope they fund it. But now I'm a little bit
Yep.
afraid that they may be funding it at the cost of the low income, fare program, and and so yeah, I don't know, and look, I mean, I'm not going to disparage being any legislator, and especially if I don't have the facts. I mean, I know that the money is limited, and everyone needs some, and you have to make hard decisions. But I will support, transportation to the utmost because it's just critical to everything. I mean, if
Yep.
people can't get from point A to point B, and they need to get to point A, from point B, then they're crippled and the economy, suffers too because they aren't as productive. I mean, if you want to make it such that people don't have to go from point A to point B nearly as much, then you can afford to cut down, on transportation. But until we're in that environment, we need to really support transportation.
Yep. Off the top of your head, do you recall what the fare recovery ratio is for ferry compared to any of the other modes? And I don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
I don't remember if it was huge. Like, I mean, I think am I correct that commuter rail to say rapid transit, commuter rail is much, much, much higher operating cost and lower fare recovery percentage compared to like, you know, subway, right?
I think Subway has the highest, recovery ratio, followed by bus. But
Hmm.
I don't recall, and so partly I just don't recall,
Yeah, me too.
and have low confidence in my recollection. And other part is
Me
like
too.
I'm feeling my blood sugar dropping, and so
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
the
We're almost
neurons
at quarter of.
aren't
Um,
firing any
if
very
you don't
well.
if you don't mind,
Sure.
would you permit me just to send Craig a quick message? He's usually pretty responsive. I just want to ask him if he's going to be coming back in because if not, and I'll do a quick check of anyone who's watching, and then maybe we can wrap it up.
Yeah, no,
Just
I'm not complaining. I'm not saying I have to go. I'm just kind of going
oh,
that
okay,
that
okay. Well, then
uh,
we're almost at the quarter of anyway.
yeah. I'm just saying that sometimes it's just poor memory, and sometimes it's poor memory, combined with low blood sugar. I kind of hit these walls, a series of walls. It's like this is the first wall I hit, um, so I have a good another half hour in me, but the next wave, I mean, I, I I'm gonna have a hard time talking.
All right. I just sent Craig a quick text, just asking, no problem if you don't, if you can't, just let me know if you think you're going to come back. Um, but in the meantime, was there any other hot item that you wanted to cover for
No, not really. Not really.
okay.
I even went
Well,
over everything. You did the energy hedges.
yeah, well, I do feel like I want to bring in very quickly the um the meeting notes from the subcommittee because it was such great stuff. Um, or would it be better for you to hold off on that until next month? Because I value folks uh sort of cross-checking the subcommittee minutes. But if you feel like you're fading, which is totally fine, then we could hold that off. Any thoughts on that?
Um, I'm fine if you want to cover it,
Okay,
so
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, like I said, I value your cross-check of of the notes that I took, and I don't know if this is. Let me see if I can make this a big enough font where you could actually read. Is that at all useful for you?
Not really.
Okay, let me kick it up one more notch and see. How about
Well, I tell you what, why
that?
don't you maybe point out the areas that you have some concern about and I can listen
Oh,
to.
okay. I don't really any concerns, but I'll just whip through it. Um, we had a lot of discussion about the Mattapan line.
Yeah, right.
The oh,
Listen.
you know what? I will put the link to the slide deck that we reviewed also into the Zoom so that that gets made more visible. Um, Sam Zhao, at one of the presentations, said that the Mattapan line has no more speed restrictions. But there was a comment in the subcommittee that it's feeling like the current headways are, hey, these are the same as it always was. Aren't they great? But they're not the same headways that they always had been. They are reduced headways, but is the claim actually being made that, hey, these are great. These are just like they were? Well, because that's not quite being honest. But I mean, if the current headways are what are the best we can do on the Mattapan line, okay. I mean, that's sort of splitting hairs, I think we said in the subcommittee, but okay. Um, 80% return to ridership on the Mattapan line compared to 2018. I thought that was notable enough that I put it in the notes. And oh yeah, for the Type 9s, um, I sort of emphasized it. Ashmont will have to be turned into a stub end station because the loop at Ashmont for the Mattapan line is too tight for Type 9s to make it. So whatever we get for Type 9s on the Mattapan line, it's not going to be a loop at Ashmont. Does that really matter? As long as the Type 9s are reliable, I don't think that really matters. Because I believe from an operational standpoint, and I bet we'll hear from Jonathan on this in the next subcommittee meeting. I believe from an operational reliability standpoint, anytime that you can loop a vehicle, you get a little boost in overall reliability because you're not shutting it all down, changing ends, powering it all back up again, doing all those internal checks on that the equipment does. If you're doing a loop, you're just pulling in, you're opening the doors, you're going around, you're keeping going. There's no interruption to the systems on board like a stub end. So, am I really concerned about the Type 9s requiring a stub end at Ashmont? No, I'm not really. I would hope it's going to be a two-track stub end and not a single track. That would be bad news. But if it's a two-track stub end at the redesigned Ashmont, yeah, okay. If one car has a problem, the other one pulls out first. Okay. Yeah. Um, I made note of this little bit of history on the PCC's rebuild, because I had forgotten that for these PCC cards that were made in the World War II era, the first big rebuild was 1976. Wow, they were going for a long time. Um, the second rebuild in 1999 to 2006, and this one maybe the last, probably the last. Um, those Mattapan PCCs just astound me for their longevity. We talked about the transit area development and Milton, um, the 25 plus years of planning, rebuild PCCs, Type 9s, replace with bus, all the things that have come up in the past. Um, oh yeah, we did a real deep dive on the Assembly Row area and the footbridge across, and I'll put that PDF is also in the Zoom chat. And again, a shout out. He's not here tonight, but again, a shout out to Wig Zamor for being the driving force behind the little bit of a bump out on the side of the Assembly Orange Line head house to make it a little easier to hook up to a footbridge to get into the Draw 7 Park. Which will happen. Talked about the budget service plan. I don't remember any notable highlights from talking about signal issues on red and orange, the RTAs. Oh yeah, and then finally, yeah, again, also shout out to Miles and Jonathan both. Um, Revere Schools dropped uh private, well not private, but Revere Schools dropped municipal buses for oh geez. Len, did he say for high school? I think he did. Oh, you're muted, Len.
How to do that? It's high school.
Yep. Thank you. I'll put that note in.
Without telling anybody. I don't know. I guess he's always the last one to know. You know, I guess I shouldn't say too much because I like to think that Arlington is good about letting the team know when they're having town day. You know, and
Yeah.
I try to make sure that happen. I'm never really 100% sure that happens. I know that when we do like the Paul Revere ride, on Patriots Day, I don't think we let the team know. And I think the reason is that it's supposed to be a relatively small time frame, you know. But it doesn't take much to just kind of ripple through the system, you know. Uh, and so you feel badly for the people who are waiting for the bus because it's like
Yep.
waiting for the horse in front of town hall to do his thing and then kind of get going.
Yep.
But um, anyways, I would say maybe if the T can't reroute because it's such a short time span, if the town lets the T know, then at least the T can let people know when the bus is delayed, that's delayed due to the Paul Revere ride. What's the word for it?
Yeah.
Reenactment, so that people know that it's not the T's fault. It's
Yep.
like Tom Arlington's fault.
Yeah. I mean, information. Um, I don't want to say in excess. It's the wrong. Generally speaking, the more information to transit riders, the better.
The better, yeah, 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 exactly. And then people have more confidence. Uh,
Yep. I did take this note. Currently, I don't remember who said this, but I took it as a quote, although I'm not attributing the quote to anybody, but the Route 116 bursting at the seams pretty much all day, every day.
mm, mm,
And I mean, it sucks for people on that route, but wow, I'm just really happy to hear that there are routes that are very well utilized.
yeah,
Nobody wants it to be bursting at the seams, but at the same time, hey, it's great that there's a service that works for people and they're taking it.
yeah. It was,
That's the positive spin.
yeah. I don't recall whether it was said that more service would is well, one, is more service possible, and two, whether it would help. I just don't recall.
I
You recall?
I don't think it was said that it could help, but if no, I don't recall either.
No,
I don't recall either.
I
Um,
don't remember. I don't recall. I got
yeah.
no memory.
You got no memory at all?
That was just the Peter Gabriel song.
Oh, I love that song.
I was
I
just saying it because it came up
oh yeah.
a couple nights ago, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I haven't heard
Oh
that song
yeah.
in a while.
That was like among the first five CDs I ever bought was that album.
Oh wow, really?
Oh God, yeah, I was
Oh,
a very
CDs.
early Peter Gabriel fan.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. Saw him
Uh,
several times in concert at the Orpheum.
oh, okay. I was only able to see him once so far at Great Woods.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well that actually brings us pretty much to the end of um what we have. Oh, no, no, I forgot. But this is too much of a scope for later. The the design standards guidelines. So I hope you will keep that on for a future meeting, Len,
Yeah.
as
I'll keep it on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
because
we
that is
probably.
such good stuff. And
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned in the past how the design standards and guidelines collection seems to get broader on a fairly regular basis, and somebody or many people should be applauded for that effort because I can remember when there was really nothing for specifications and design standards that was available online.
Right.
So again, it points towards the openness and transparency and I mean, I'll just pull it up and put the link into the Zoom chat for the record, but we'll talk more later,
Yeah,
or next time or the time after, whatever. But yeah, this collection just seems to get uh bigger. Every time I look, it seems like there's something new in there or something that I
yeah,
haven't seen before.
yeah. So yeah. Let's keep plugging through it, and let's see if we come up with any interesting research projects, that
Oh,
we can
yes.
do that will complement what not only what the T is doing, usually through CTPS, and that's usually, usually when they do things through CPPS, they come before the MPO, but
Yeah.
also maybe complements me what the MPO is doing. Both the Boston region MPO, maybe other MPOs.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
because we now have tools that can help us do, I think, some really interesting research. Yeah,
Yes. I, I hate to name drop, so don't take this as such. But after the MLK breakfast last Monday in Lynn, I happened to just be leaving the venue and walking to where we parked our cars, and it was I walked with Senator Brendan Crichton, and we chatted for several minutes, and he was he was great because one of the first things he asked me was, "Oh, how's things with your committee? What's new?" And I said, "Well, we're looking for additional ways that we can be of use, be of service to
yeah,
the agency, MassDOT, other uh, municipal, the MPO, etc., the
yeah,
legislature." And he said, "Oh, that yeah." He was um, very positive on that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
he kind of joked and said, "Oh yeah, help us do our work," or I think he might have even said, "Yeah, do our work for us," in a kind of a joking way. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, so a shout out to uh, my senator, Senator Crichton, who was very positive about the idea of us taking on research
yeah,
projects
yeah. No,
to
no.
facilitate, you know, better involvement, better oversight
Yeah.
in ways
Well,
that might not be getting tackled right now.
or maybe talk to his staff, because it's like, because we as I tell people that there's not an altruistic bone in my body. So like I am always thinking about how whatever I do will benefit me, and doing research is of immense benefit. You just learn so much in the process, and then you can,
Yeah,
and then it's not a matter of just kind of learning for learning's sake, although I'm fine with that, but you can take that knowledge, and apply it, to ideas, helping you generate ideas, and hopefully some good ones, so
yep,
yeah, I just want more opportunities to learn, and hopefully in a way that, will produce some benefit, so yeah, maybe talk to the
absolutely.
staff, because normally they're the ones, who have the time to really talk with you, and
Oh yeah,
pursue things, so if
yep.
he's your senator, then you have access to his staff. So take him
Oh
up
yeah,
on it.
yep, yeah. And I'm also, I mean, again, I don't want to. I'm not gonna name names, but I'm on a first name basis with um, all three state reps in the area of Lynn.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I'm very fortunate that way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but again, that's not supposed to be. That's not me patting myself on the back. That's just you know various
Well,
community things have led to that.
yeah.
Like yeah,
Well,
and you're very close with your former representative
yeah, Garbly.
Garberly. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's really a testament how open, they are to, as a body, so I
Yes,
think,
that's so true.
yeah, yeah, I haven't really reached out to my Somerville reps at this point. Yeah, I'll introduce myself at some point, but I think I'll just kind of wait until something comes up. In fact, I'm kind of inclined to reach out to Representative Barber, because I think she was one of the people who was trying to get some momentum going for extending the Green Line to 16 and then into Medford. And this was before this was before Healy was elected, We were
Ah,
trying to gain some momentum, and then when Healy was elected, it, you know, initially, not Cheryl, um, the I can't remember her last name. It starts with an F.
oh, Fiandaca.
Fiandaca, yeah.
Yep.
She was the Secretary of Transportation, and we
Oh,
kind of started building
yeah.
a little more momentum. And then Monica became the Secretary of Transportation, and at that point, we stopped momentum because Monica had been working with us, and now it's like, well, Monica, is the Secretary of Transportation. We'll let her, work on the issue. But as we all know, that um,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, right,
Just for the record, Gina
right,
Fiandaca was the Secretary of Transportation. Her sister, Cheryl Fiandaca, you know because
right,
she's a television
right.
uh
Investigative reporter,
journalist. Yeah.
right,
Yeah. But I just wanted to put that for the record. Yeah, Gina.
right. So
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry to sorry to derail your thought there.
yeah, no problem. So then I just need to contact her and see, if maybe, how she thinks about, you know, extending the green line. Because I mean, it's like, look, I mean, realistically, maybe 10 years out,
Oh God, yeah.
I think if we could really build some momentum for it, we could maybe get it into, I mean, well, I'm going to interrupt myself. I mean, I want to see us generate some real significant conversation when we do the next, um, long range transit plan,
Yep.
for the T, which I think is going to start this year. So really get that out there. And then let's say that does get into the long range plan. Well, then hopefully we can see it in 20 years. But maybe we could be a little optimistic and maybe get it, into someone's, transportation plan. In 5 years. Usually those are 5 year plans. So maybe in 10 years, unlikely, but hey, gotta try.
Yep. Yep.
All
It's a
right.
worthy project. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I don't
mean,
know what the cost benefit would be, but the service area is, no, I want to say demanding. I mean, I don't want to say the service area demands the Green Line extension, but it seems like a no-brainer.
yeah, and I think the potential, to help me Arlington, develop the Menominee Manor, which is an environmental justice community, would be really, really good, and help also stimulate development along Broadway Avenue, which would be really good. And if we could like really make Broadway Avenue a nice complete street,
Oh,
that could then kind of extend that principle into Somerville, I think the potential that it could unlock, is immense. And so as I tell people who want to focus on red line extensions, like that's all well and good, but you got to keep in mind that Arlington Heights and Lexington just don't have the density, that you have in East Arlington, and in Len. And so I say like the two places
yeah.
that you really want to increase service, will be to Medford, and to Lynn. We do those two first. And then maybe Arlington and Lexington can work on bringing more people into those areas. Or
Here,
at
here.
least saying, we're not going to resist huge development if you bring the red line, into the Heights and then into Lexington Center,
Yeah,
because you'll want to have the people to justify it. Um,
exactly.
um,
Very well said. Yep.
so
Yep. As much as I would love to see the commuter rail to Lynn electrified, that's all hinging on how well the Fairmont line electrification goes. And I really have my heart set on the blue line to Lynn. But
yeah,
if the Fairmont line electrification goes well, and it seems like we could actually do electrification from North Station to not Saugus to Chelsea and Lynn. Yeah, okay.
all right,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was kind of a out of the blue, like
yeah.
you didn't really ask for that, but there you
No. I
go.
mean,
There's
I
my
like to
two
see,
cents.
the blue line to Lynn. Especially it's a lot. I mean, yeah, I don't know how many more stops it would be between. um, Wonderland Inland?
It would be, I believe the last design that I saw was it would be at least three and maybe four. It depends on whether it could ever go up the original right of way or not.
Right.
Because the very northern tip of Revere called Point of Pines probably could sustain a station because there's a lot of new development happening right there,
Uh-huh.
right at that northern tip of Revere, Point of Pines, and right across the bridge in Lynn, but if the route for the Blue Line can't go up the old right of way of the narrow gauge from 1940, then the Point of Pines station would be across a wetland, and it
Right.
wouldn't happen.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
I believe it would be at least two stations in Lynn and one more in Revere. It's just a question of what. Wait, so what did I say? Three or four more? Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
three more.
Right.
Certainly three more.
How much do you think
Maybe
it would
four more.
cost?
God, I completely forget.
Right.
I won't even speculate because whatever numbers I might have heard are 10 years old at this point.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking what you think it would cost me now.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
I I can wholeheartedly, truthfully say the cost would be absolutely worth it for the benefit to a very underserved community,
All right.
Lynn, but I'm biased that way. So
Yeah.
I admit that.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, are we thinking like 2 billion, four
Oh, I
billion?
truly don't remember.
All right. All right. That's
I
fine.
just
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Fine. Okay. I need to go.
Yeah,
I'm
me
hungry.
too.
I'm
Yeah.
hungry. Yeah.
Thank
So, all right.
you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure,
Same here.
and
Take care.
see
See
you
you in
at the
2 weeks.
subcommittee meeting in a couple weeks.
Okay. Bye bye.
Stay well.